Hello YouTube, welcome to the dojo, you're Samurai Man, and today we have the Transformers Warbotron, I think his name's Whirlwind? I'm gonna go and say Whirlwind. This is their version of Vortex. It's a very nice rendition of him. Pretty spot on, I gotta say. They did a great job of this guy. Gray helicopter with blue highlights, can't really mess that up obviously. But it's a very nice attack helicopter. You know, it's a Decepticon, it's Autobots, it would have been like a rescue chopper, like evac or something, but Decepticon, it's a military helicopter obviously, so they did a great job of it. Pretty loaded up on weapons. He's got 2 missiles on each side. He's got I want to say a turret, like a machine gun type turret on each side. And then a big old, again, maybe a higher caliber machine gun. But I kind of want to say it's like a cannon. But who knows. Just to point out, really nice paint apps as far as, they usually do. Warbotron actually does have a lot of really nice paint apps, so no surprise here. But here we see it as well. We've got some silver bits on the blades here for this. And the rotor is actually very nicely engineered. You can see it does spin. People complain because if you do have these, the back rotor lined up certain ways, they do collide. Obviously, realistically, this would not get off the ground at all. It would break immediately. As soon as these two start smacking into each other, done. It's going to bend, it's going to break. So, but it's a toy. I don't mind it. It still falls under the criteria of it's a helicopter, so the rotor needs to spin. It does it, so I'll forgive it. I don't mind it. And the back one spins too. Usually you don't see the back one spinning, but this one, they both spin. So, works for me. And again, as I was saying, the paint job is nice. We do have, again, silver there. Silver for the tips of the machine guns. And then yellow for the tips of the missiles. Got a little silver bit here for the cockpit. A little more silver there. The back of the cockpit. And then silver on the side of the big old cannon. And then let's see. It's mostly just silver, but yeah. Still a good amount of diversity in the color scheme. Oh, and then there's like these gray highlights on the back for the tips of the back, what do you call them? Fins? Yes, fins. There we go. So it's a very interesting looking helicopter, you can see. Just from the top. Oh, and then there's some more of those silver highlights here from pistons. But as you see, it's I don't know. I just feel like, yes, it gets the point across. It is a helicopter. It's not a bad looking helicopter. But it's definitely not one like you would see in real life. Like, I feel like this is maybe too long or something. Maybe this just looks awkward because of the engineering for the transformation. I don't know what it is, but it looks a bit weird. And the top view is not bad, I gotta say. That's a pretty nice top view. You can see the blades and everything, and then the wings and stuff. It gets across very well. But when you look from the sides or the bottom, it is a bit awkward because it's pretty blocky when it comes to the wings here, you can see. Those are very blocky. Those are the arms. So it is a bit noticeable. It kind of looks a bit broken up when you look at it at the right angles. It does look like the wings break up a little. But still, it's not bad, I have to say. There is landing gear. Not the best landing gear. You can have it set up like that, but it can get a bit back heavy. You can try rolling it, and it'll roll. But if you try backing up or anything, again, it gets that back heaviness. So there is that. Good amount of molded detailing otherwise. You can see nicely done here, and then along it lots of rivets. There's rivets everywhere, pistons and tubes and ventilations and all that. You can open up the cockpit here, and there is some nice seats there. It's actually a 2-seater. You can see it's a 2-seater helicopter. So, you know, very nice. Maybe you could fit one of those, probably not. Maybe in the back seat, probably not in the front because there's a little more space in the back. Maybe you can get one of those, like, I think they're called Archiville. I think that was his name from the old 1980s cartoon. You get a lot of those little hollow pilots or Archivilles with the masterpiece. What's it called? Pretty much any of the Seekers, actually. So, maybe he'll fit in there. Another little bit I want to show off for the turret. You can see it. It's very nice airbrushing. A little bit of black on the front of the barrel. Just to make it look like it's been used. It's been fired recently, so it's got kind of like some gunpowder residue on it. I really like that. That's a very nice touch of detail. Just like we saw with Heavy Noisy, he did have some of that similar detailing on the front of his cannon. I think, yeah, that seems like it's the only one that really, those two are the only ones that really do it. But nice regardless. And you can just flip up the landing gear there at the front. Be careful, I don't know about yours, but for mine, the wheels just clip in, they're nothing special. So when you bring it up, it's a bit of a tight squeeze, so it likes to push out that wheel. So I kind of just need to make sure it doesn't, it did pop out once when I was doing it, so I just need to make sure I don't lose it. I don't know if that's the case for anybody else's, but for mine, that is the case. So very nice overall. It is a pretty nice looking helicopter, I gotta say. It is unique, but it's not bad. You look around it, you really can't see too much robot. The arms are here. You can kind of tell those are arms, but for the most part, you really can't see too much robot mode, and that's a good thing about it. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. And then you can, if you want, these do move. They're on hinges, so if you want to make it a little more like stationary mode, he's like, alright, we spotted him, deploy cannons. I don't know, something like that. That looks pretty cool also. So very nice. I would say he would go up well with Whirl, you know, if they wanted to battle it out as, you know, fighter helicopters. I think Whirl would probably be your best bet. Don't send out Blades or Evac. They're probably not going to do as effectively against this guy, but Whirl could probably get the job done. I think the Whirl could get the job done for pretty much anybody. But anyways, I guess let's just go ahead and transform this guy just to see what's what. So to transform him, we're going to go ahead and just get these cannons out of the way. You don't have to remove these. I just like to. It's just easier. You know, weapons and such accessories, just get them out of the way. Then, a little bit of parts forming. Going to remove this. Don't lose this because he's going to look weird without it. As you can see, this is mandatory. It's a pretty awkward looking helicopter now without it. So it's very important. Yes, parts forming, I know. It's unfortunate, but we need to do what we got to do. Split the legs here, or what will be the legs. Fold up these flaps. The legs are probably, I want to say, the most interesting of the transformation as far as everything goes. But what you want to do is start by opening up this here. There's two little pegs that peg into those peg holes. You kind of want to get those out of the way. Take this whole front section here, and they are just on some double hinges. You want to bring them down around. These are form pretty much the front of the legs. You just line them up right, and there you go. You bring them back and around. You just reveal all that thigh section and everything, and the hips. They don't really clasp in too well. They kind of just sit there, but just don't mess with them. You'll be fine. Rotate this section here. It's segmented here. You can see along it. You can kind of tell. Rotate. Actually, first we'll rotate this like that. That way you can fit along it. And then bring this up just to get out of the way. Bring back the feet back to the position they were in. There you go, or at least the back of the helicopter. Now we have feet. And that's how you want the leg. So you can see the difference here. Now the leg is turned over, or at least that section. Pretty much the shin. It's like the shin, like ankle area is now switched over. So again, we'll rotate the flap like this fin. That way you can rotate it around this way, because if you don't, it's going to be in the way. It's already in the way, even though I brought it down. Let's see, let's bring it down more. There you go, yeah. Bring it back up, and then bring back the front of the foot, just the front, not that whole section. And then bring up this on this hinge, that on that hinge, and the feet are done. Starting to get there. We're forming a robot-esque thing. Next, this is a little bit more of the difficult part. I don't care much for this part of transformation just because it's not the easiest to really get moving. But you want to untab this top section here, the whole top of the blade. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and remove these blades. They are weapons. You can use them as swords, as I'll show off. But for now, let's get them out of the way. If I can get them out. This one's in there good. Why are you doing this? What are you doing? There you go. Ah! There you go. Okay, that'll just help. I just don't want that in my way. Anyways, there's two little tabs here. Just make sure you get those out. And then this is where things get a little complicated. You want to pull backwards and then bring this whole section. The reason it's kind of difficult is because there's really not too much grip as far as what you want to like move. It's kind of like, here you go, there, now I'm getting it. Because you want to get this whole, you want to pull this section back, and then you want to get the whole like compartment forward. So just this part back, it's on, you can see it's on a double hinge here, so we're going to bring this down. So you want to get that back, at the same time you bring this whole thing forward. That's why I say it's a little difficult. It's kind of like the first couple times it's going to be tricky. You just got to get used to how to do it. But after a while, you'll probably get used to it. Then you just want to bring down these arms here on the ratchety joints there, and I'll make them nice and lined up. So we have that done. Bring them down and line them up. And as you can see, the head's already revealed. The head was already there in its vehicle mode. We just moved this whole compartment. And then next up, we're just going to reline up this bit here with those tabs. You can see at the side. Just want to make sure it's lined up. Fold this down. There's a hair in there. Or something. Yeah. Nice. Bring this down. That'll line up everything. Very nice. Keep the back filled in so now he's not all hollow. It is a very nice streamlined back. I do like that. Next, we'll open up this part here. So now we can get the hand out. It would help. Hands are good and useful. Fold it back up. Rotate the arm back around like this. That way we can still use that joint. And bring this out. Bring this out. Fold that back up. And rotate everything out. And we're pretty much done. Now I'm just going to go ahead and put the... Well, we'll just show them off like this for now. And then we'll get into the accessories and such. So here we have Whirlwind, aka Vortex in his robot mode, and I do like this. This is a very nice robot mode. He's definitely got that Vortex feel. He's got now purple revealed in his robot mode for the torso, because Vortex did have purple for the torso for his G1 self. It is being a little covered up by the cockpit, but you could still, it gets the point across. There's some on the waist. You can see it on the torso, the sides, top where the head is. So it is still enough to get the job done as to what you want the toy to look like. Plus, it gives it its own uniqueness having the cockpit there anyway. So that's all well and good. Plus, it revealed a lot more blue, as you can see. Before, it was pretty much gray with blue highlights. Now it's a little bit more even. It's still kind of more gray with blue highlights, but it's much more even. We have it here along the arm, the whole arm with the hands and everything. Hips and thighs are blue. Tops of the feet are blue. The head is all blue. So it's a little bit more, you know, revealed here. And again, now we've utilized the molding a little bit better. Not better, but there's a little bit more in this mode. Before, it was good molding, but it was still a good amount of smoothness. Now we've got way more wires and stuff revealed, and there's way more surface detailing going on. It's the same, but the way you look at it, it's more dead on. Like this was, you could see this in vehicle mode, you could see this in vehicle mode, you could see this at the bottom of vehicle mode, but the way we have it set up in robot mode, you could definitely see it's more apparent in this mode. So I do like that. Even the insides of the legs, I do like the fact that they did even paint and mold the insides of the legs. That's a nice little touch there. I do like when they do that. Actually, I really am appreciative when they do stuff like that. Sometimes you'll see hollow legs and stuff. It's annoying. But when they do stuff like that, I can really appreciate that. The only weird thing is now his missile pods are facing upward. Not very effective. I wouldn't want to use that. I recommend not using it. But still very nice overall. So you can bring in his cannons here, or his machine guns here. They do have pegs at the bottom now. You can still have them pegged into this section you had up here if you want to have shoulder cannons. I know a lot of people are fans of that. I'm a big fan of shoulder cannons. That's the easiest way to do it. But if you can get this peg out, hopefully I can. It's not the easiest peg to get out. Usually it would be better is to get something like one of his blades. Or maybe not his blades because they're a little thick on something. I need a tool or some sort. I need something to get this out. Because it's very hard to get out actually. Oh, there you go. There is a little bit of a protrusion of plastic there at the front so you can get your grip on it, but it's, you know, usually I don't use it, but hey, it worked this time, so I'll take it. And maybe I can do it with this one also. Hey, I got it with both! Look at that. Alright, so yeah, just use that little bit of plastic there that I got hanging and it'll work. Usually what I do for this setup is he does have pegs on the sides of his arms, of his forearms. They're not the most solid peg holes. If you shake it, they won't fall out, so it will stay, but it just doesn't feel like the most secure, like it does swivel. So that's what I mean by not the most solid. But, you know, like I said, if you move it around and stuff, they'll sit there fine. They'll still sit there. They just feel like I wouldn't want to normally use them. But at the same time, I think I'm a big fan of wrist and forearm mounted cannons. That's my thing. I like shoulder and wrist and forearm mounted. I'm big on those. So you can do that. You can take his big old cannon that he had in the front when he was in the vehicle mode. Take this section here. And if you can get it, there you go, rotate it up. And then what you want to do, rotate out the peg, because there's two pegs, one for the vehicle mode and one for the robot. Actually, you know what? Rotate it all the way out like that. There you go. So now it's a little more cannon-like. I just rotated out of this peg. So now I can hold it. And again, it's a bit clunky, so it's kind of hard to get him to hold it, but the peg is very long, so he can still hold it. It's just awkward. So yeah, some things they could have fixed on him, like the way he holds his weapons and such, but still not bad. Gets the job done. If you want, what you can do is you can rotate this up even more. It goes all the way like that, and then have him hold it. I just think in this configuration, it looks like it holds a lot better like that, but it looks a lot more chunkier and not as effective. I think, you know, having it more streamlined, where you have this down, looks a lot better. To me, that looks a lot better. But I mean, again, it's up to you and how you want to use it. Or if you don't want to use it at all, just, that's the one, it's another downside, is there's really no, you know, peg hole for this. You could have it up here, but that's a really big shoulder mount cannon. And hey, if Hardhead can do it, I guess Vortex can do it. So, I don't know, let's see. How is this going to look? Never tried it like this. I'm not, you know, I never thought to try it like this. It's a bit chunky. It is a bit chunky. I don't know. I don't really know how I feel about that. Again, if you don't need it, just put it off the side. You know, it is a big piece, so I wouldn't worry about losing it too much. But again, just be careful of that. You don't want to lose that. Now, lastly, for his weapons, swords. You can use his blades as very cool looking swords. These definitely sit in the best. As you can see, they sit in there very well. So let's see if we can get a full frame. So there you go. He can hold his swords. He holds them the best of all his accessories. The swords will stay in the best. They're the most solid. They're very nicely done. You can't tell that they're blades at all for the vehicle mode, so I do like that. You still have 2 more. I don't think... No, you're not going to get him to hold in the bottom of his hands. And you're not really going to get him to store anywhere. As far as I could tell, I really don't think there's anywhere. It looks like there's clips on the sides. I don't know. I didn't really look at the instructions for any of these figures, just so you guys know. You know, transformations weren't that complicated or anything. I just kind of freehanded it. But yeah, probably should have. But yeah, it doesn't look like there's anywhere to go. You can just, again, just store them back in the vehicle mode configuration. Just put the blades back here. I would suggest, you know, just have it like this, where you can have the 2 top blades in his hands, and then like that. I think that looks fine. There you go. And then the way the weight's going to hold it down, it's going to look fine. So I think that's a pretty cool configuration. Have the 2 swords in hands, and then the 2 at the back. That's not bad. These kind of look like, kind of cape-ish. It's got like that cape vibe going on. So very nice. They did a great job. And just to take a look at that head sculpt, it's very nicely done. It's got a nice smooth faceplate, nice smooth visor, completely Vortex. Nice light piping for that eyes. And then we got some more light piping at the top of the head, a little silver detail there. And it's just very well done. It's very Vortex. You can definitely tell who this guy is. And like I said, the light piping just so well done. It's like an amber yellow. I forgot to point that out before, but all the clear plastic on this, it's not like a yellowish. It's like amber. So it's very nice that they didn't go just straight yellow. They made it a little bit unique. And I do like that. You come around the back, you see that light piping there. It works actually very well. I don't know, you probably can't. I mean, yeah, look there, you can see that. Look at that. Look at the visor. It's lined up very well right there. I'm getting at the right angle. And then you come around, kind of lose it, but from that angle, whew, that is bright. I do like that. There you go. So for the articulation, you can rotate the shoulders all the way around. You can bring them out as well. And there's actually a ratchet at the shoulder. You wouldn't really need to use this. It's kind of an awkward bend. It's for transformation, but it is there. You can rotate at the bicep, bend at the elbow. No double bend, but it does go all the way back and forth very smoothly. I do like that. Rotation at the wrist, and the four fingers do open up to make better, easy use of the pegs and such. So that's nice. I do like that. Lots of articulation in the arm alone, so that's good. Head can look kind of upish. You see it does look kind of up. Can look kind of downish. You know, it's a blocky head. It is what it is. Rotates all around. It's a ball joint. So very nice. You get lots of good posability with that. Like I said, for my flyers, I do prefer if their head could look like all the way out. It makes for a better flying pose, but it gets the job done. Rotation at the waist. That's used for, obviously, waist rotation and for the limb mode, so you're going to need that. And then his hips and thighs, you can bring them out all the way. You can rotate them. It's kind of hard to do. I would grab it from here. Don't grab it from here like I was doing because this is lots of segmented pieces. But here you go. Rotate it there. Bring it back and forth. It is a ratchet. You can see. You can hear it ratcheting for the hip. So very nice. And then the feet, you can rotate at the ankle as well as the foot. There's a lot going on there. I would just say use the foot. And then it's a ball joint and a hinge at the foot as well. So there's a lot going on there. And then the bend at the knee, I forgot to point that out. It is a little awkward because when you bend the knee, it kind of just disappears. But at the same time, they did put in some nice molding to make it look like a gear is right there. So the bend isn't too awkward. It is a bit more natural. But it's a nice solid knee bend. Even if it's not a ratchet, it is very solid. Goes, I want to say 90. Maybe a little less than 90. There's a big chunky there at the leg, as you can see. But not bad. I gotta say, they did a good job with it. And just to show off, 2 helicopters. One being Autobot, one being Decepticon, one being Hasbro, one being third party. You see the differences. They are about the same height. Whirl is obviously at a weird stance just because by design. But Whirl actually is a little bit taller. So you can see that they are pretty much all the figures of the Warbotron set are about Voyager size, but give or take half a head. So it's not a bad design, I have to say. It would definitely look like you could fit it in the Generations line. I don't like to put my third-party stuff in my Generations and Classics and other lines and stuff. Nothing against it. If you want to do it, it's fine. I do have my Hegemon and my Tempest and my what else was it? The Galvatron one. Maniac King. Those are really the only 3 I have in my Generation shelf, Classic shelf. A third party, I make it its own line, to be honest. I make third party its own line. They have their own unique designs and all that they follow. But yeah, they're pretty much, I keep to their own shelf. For the most part, there might be 1 or 2 every now and then. You know, obviously the Masterpiece, you know, Fans Toys and all that, those are Masterpiece toys. or at least designs. But yeah, I don't really keep them together, you know. You drink from your watering hole. No, that's terrible. And there you can see them with airburst slash blast off. They look great together, as usual, like I've been showing off before. They all just look fantastic together. They're all aesthetically pleasing and such. Loving them all. So, really no complaints. I think they fit into great together. None of them feel like this figure has one aesthetic going on where this one has a different one. They all look great, and I'm loving them. So just to get the limb mode transformation started, we're going to go ahead and just get the hands put away. Get the obvious stuff out of the way. I mean, obviously we're not going to have his hands in this mode. So we'll close that up. And it's you're pretty much just going back into vehicle mode. We're just going to change up a couple steps. That's pretty much how they did it with airburst slash blast off as well. It's just vehicle mode with a little bit of differences. So to start with, obviously we're going to get this out of the way just so I can get a little bit of grip since it's not so solid. But you want to close up the feet. There you go. You can get it completely collapsed. Lined up. I think part of it is this is in the way. There you go. It's kind of hard to get it just because nothing really in the legs is too solid. It's a lot of armor bits that kind of just need to shift around and such. So there you go. Just kind of line this up like this. Now what we're going to do, we're going to take the feet, bring them down. I find this helps. If you bring them down, rotate them, and then like flip them back up because you want to completely flip them. There you go. Use that ball joint and just completely flip it like that. And I just think it helps if you do it like in the way I'm doing it, where you bring it all the way down and then bring that up and then flip it. There you go. So you want the feet like that. These feet, the back, or not the feet, but the back heels, you kind of just have to let them hang. Again, I haven't checked the instructions. I'm sorry. But I think you just let them hang. I could be wrong. If there's anything that needs to be different, I'll let you know in the full-on combined video. But for now, keep it like this. The hand will be coming with the Fierce Attack. That is the onslaught of the set. So this is all. I'm just showing you what you get with this figure. So you just get that. And there you go. Next, obviously, we don't need a head. So we're going to go ahead and get this stuff flipped out of the way. And we want to rotate this whole segment. Again, this segment's kind of awkward. If I can get it. Rotate this like that. And at the same time, bring this down. So awkward. Honestly, it would help if I didn't have these blades in the way. I probably should have removed them. But I'm going to go ahead and just do it like this. I think bring these up. There you go. Bring this up here. That'll go around my head. As you can see, it goes like that. Bring this up. These will tab into there. So it just kind of all goes together so smoothly. And that's how you want that. And next up, we're going to go ahead and rotate it. The waist like this. That'll give you the hips as a elbow. And this is where things, well, obviously it's already pretty different, but this is where things start to get really different. So we'll bring this down, leave it like that. And then what we want to do is leave the shoulders like this. And then take the arms. All you want to do with the arms, fold them up like that. I believe this is how you should have the configuration based on what I can tell. And then obviously flip out the port. Very stiff port. And then have it like that. And I believe, oh, obviously, you want to take this. So we got to retransform this back into its original configuration. No, right, like this. And then flip this. Like that. Oh, no, like that. And yeah. And you want this or else it looks incomplete. Again, this smoothly goes in there. And then we'll take these cannons back here. Flip up the pegs. And that's the wrong one. You are supposed to have them each on, there's one peg on the turrets. So they are specific to which side you should have them on. So go ahead and just put that back on there. It's not the most secure peg hole, but again, gets the job done. And then just do it like that. They are specific to each side. Bring it up like that. And that's pretty much how you want to have the arm. You're going to have the arm plugged in like this, and you're just going to have it like that. The hands just kind of have to sit there. They already did sit there in the vehicle mode, but now it's even a little bit more apparent like this. So yeah, you gotta live with it. You just gotta live with it. And it's not bad. You really can't, you know, the hands are in the way. You really can't tell it's arms. It's just more vehicle mode components just hanging out there. But there is the arm. Again, you have that hips that are now elbows. Just, you do have to move the arm out of the way if you want to bend them. That's my one issue. You do have to do that. But other than that, not bad. I haven't combined this guy yet into his full combined Warbotron mode. So I'm not sure about the tolerances as far as how steady he is. Like I said, pretty much all these figures, the first Warbotron set, this is their first attempt at a combiner, any toys actually, this is their first time doing anything. They are pretty stiff they're with their tolerances, so I imagine that it's going to hold up well just because there's a lot of stiff joints and all, you know, the plastic's really tight and everything, so I imagine we're not really going to have any issues with him holding up to anything, but we'll see when the time comes. But anyways guys, thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed. Go ahead and comment, like, subscribe to my channel on YouTube, as well as follow me on Tumblr and Twitter at Mechation, and Instagram at Mechas_Heart. You'll find all my pictures, recent purchases, who's making what, what's coming out, all that good stuff and more. Anyways guys, thanks for watching, until next time.